I'm Olivia, and up until a year ago, I was living a storybook life that others only dream about. At 28 years old, I felt like I had it all figured out, and everything was falling perfectly into place. My career was on an amazing trajectory. I worked as a marketing manager at a big Boston firm, overseeing promotional campaigns for major clients. My colleagues respected me, and I took a lot of pride and satisfaction in my work. More importantly, though, my personal life was even better. I came from a warm, loving family that had always been super close and supportive of me. My parents were thrilled when I landed my corporate job right out of college. My siblings and I got together for big family dinners every Sunday night, chatting and laughing over Mom's home-cooked meals. Those were my favorite nights of the week. But even better than my family was the man I had fallen deeply in love with, Lucas. I had met the handsome software engineer at a networking happy hour downtown a couple years earlier. From that very first conversation, the sparks were undeniable between us. Lucas was brilliant yet humble, driven but not arrogant. We seemed to connect on every level. Our goals, senses of humor, values, you name it. Within 6 months of dating, Lucas had asked me to move into his beautiful condo in the heart of Boston. I gladly accepted, only beginning to dream of the incredible future we would build together. Sure enough, the following year on a romantic weekend getaway, Lucas proposed to me under a starlit sky. Saying yes was the easiest decision I had ever made. We were deliriously happy and began planning our dream wedding. I felt incredibly fortunate to have such an amazing career, loving family, and now my true soulmate all at the same time. My life was picture perfect. Lucas and I worked hard but also made sure to enjoy plenty of couples adventures around Boston and beyond. I had everything I could ever want. And then, on one fateful rainy night in April, my entire charmed life got shattered in the blink of an eye. Lucas and I were driving home from a date night in the city. It was pouring rain and the roads were a mess, but we were just happy being together. We kept glancing at each other and smiling, still on a high from our amazing night out. Without warning, a car came barreling through a red light and rammed right into the driver's side of our car. The impact was jarring and violent. There was a sickening crunch of metal as our car spun across the intersection. When we finally came to a stop, I was dazed and shaken. Lucas? Lucas, are you okay? I looked over at him, terrified. He had a deep gash on his forehead, but seemed alert. I'm okay, I think. Oh my God, Olivia. His eyes went wide with horror as he saw my condition. Searing pain was radiating through my back and legs. I felt warm liquid pooling beneath me and started panicking. Lucas, I can't feel my legs. I can't move them. The paramedics arrived quickly and carefully pulled Lucas and me from the wreckage. I was strapped to a backboard, drifting in and out of consciousness. The last things I remember are Lucas squeezing my hand and saying, "You're going to be okay, baby. I'm here." And then the other driver approaching my stretcher. A young guy, probably around our age. His face ashen as he choked out, "I'm so sorry. I didn't see the light. Oh God, I'm so sorry." The ambulance doors closed, and that was the last I saw of Lucas for a long time. I later learned that guy was named Oliver. The accident had severely damaged my spinal cord, leaving me paralyzed from the waist down. My life's literal and figurative perfect storybook crumbled from there. Lucas could barely handle seeing me in the hospital, let alone taking care of me long term. He made endless excuses to avoid visiting. One day, I confronted him in tears, begging him not to leave me when I needed him most. His cold response still haunts me. "Olivia, you're not the woman I fell in love with anymore. This situation, it's just too much for me. I'm sorry, but I can't do this." I have to move on with my life. Just like that, the man I thought was my soulmate walked out on me. My family went into financial ruin trying to pay my astronomical medical bills. All of our hopes, dreams, and beautiful future together were gone in an instant. I fell into a deep depression, angry at the world, and consumed with bitterness towards Oliver. That reckless driver had destroyed every aspect of my wonderful life in one thoughtless action. I avoided rehab, allowing myself to waste away in a hospital bed, overwhelmed by loss and hopelessness. I spent months in that hospital bed, wallowing in my depression and despair. My parents and siblings tried desperately to motivate me, but their words just weren't getting through. "Olivia, you have to start physical therapy," my mom pleaded during one visit. "The doctors say it's your only chance to walk again someday." "What's the point, Mom?" I muttered despondently. "My life is over. I've lost everything that mattered." That's when Oliver started making regular visits to my room. At first, I just tuned out his pathetic apologies and expressions of guilt. He was the last person I wanted to see or hear from. But he kept coming back, sincerely trying to connect with me. Oliver described how he was struggling enormously with the trauma and regret from that fateful night too. "Olivia, please," he implored during one visit, his eyes welling up with tears. "I made a terrible, stupid mistake that I can't ever take back, but I have to try making things right, for both of us." His raw emotion and remorse started to break through my defensive walls. As the weeks passed, Oliver's empathy and understanding slowly chipped away at my bitterness and resentment towards him. One day, Oliver arrived with a wide grin and 2 sets of sweatpants and sneakers. "Come on, Olivia. You're getting out of this bed to start rehab today. I'll be right there with you every step of the way." I stared at him skeptically. "Why are you doing this? Why do you care so much?" Oliver's smile became somber. "Because my recklessness didn't just ruin your life, it destroyed my peace of mind too. I have to try making things right, for both our sakes. Please, let me help you through this." Reluctantly but desperately needing some sliver of hope, I agreed. And so an unlikely partnership was formed between Oliver and me, brought together by shared trauma, united in a quest to overcome it. Over the next year, Oliver kept his word and was by my side through every grueling rehab session. My initial reluctance quickly turned into determination as I saw small yet inspiring improvements. Regaining even basic mobility seemed miraculous after being completely paralyzed. "You're doing amazing, Olivia," Oliver cheered as I took a few shaky steps while gripping the handrails. "Just a little further." His optimism and patience were endless. We formed an unexpectedly strong bond, laughing and commiserating through the highs and lows together. Oliver always knew the right words of encouragement when I got discouraged. "Hey, don't be so hard on yourself," he'd say softly, putting a reassuring hand on my arm. "This is a marathon, not a sprint. You've already conquered more than most people could ever dream of." With Oliver's support, I started believing in myself again. The bitterness I once felt melted away, replaced by resilience, hope, and profound gratitude for this man's presence in my life. He genuinely seemed to care about me, not out of pity or obligation, but as a real friend. One sweltering summer night, we stayed late at the rehab center's modest gym, both drenched in sweat but smiling ear to ear. Oliver draped a towel over my shoulders as I caught my breath. "You were a machine tonight, Olivia. That's the farthest you've walked without even a short break," he beamed. "I'm crazy proud of you." I felt my cheeks flush a little at the compliment. "I couldn't have done any of this without your help, Oliver. You've been amazing. Really, thank you for everything." Oliver locked eyes with me in a subtle yet tender moment. No thanks needed. Like I said, I'm just trying to do the right thing for once. His gaze lingered before adding softly, I care about you, Olivia. That's all that matters to me now. In that quiet moment, the intimacy between us almost felt romantic. A strange tension seemed to linger that neither of us dared vocalize. I quickly brushed it off, but couldn't stop replay that strange, fleeting energy in my mind over the next few days. Despite my efforts to downplay it, that inkling of deeper feelings kept resurfacing every time Oliver and I were together. His caring touches, reassuring words, the way he looked at me, it stirred up emotions I hadn't felt since before the accident. A tenderness and affection I worried was one-sided and inappropriate. Or was Oliver feeling something more for me too? The thought struck me one morning before a workout session as I caught him staring at me with a warm smile. I felt my face flush and stomach flutter in a way that felt troublingly like a youthful crush. As intimidating as exploring those unspoken emotions seemed, Oliver's company was undoubtedly becoming the highlight of my days. He was the first person in over a year to make me actually look forward to living and experiencing life again. I began counting down the hours until I'd see his supportive grin and share another hard-earned moment of triumph or just doses of his goofy humor. What started as guilt and pity from Oliver had evolved into a profound emotional connection unlike anything I'd ever known. Underneath all those intense feelings, though, my heart still harbored fragments of anger toward him too, and that dangerous combination of emotions straddled a line that felt increasingly reckless and unwise to cross, no matter how badly I might want to. After over a year of intense rehab, I had defied the odds and regained the ability to walk again. It was a monumental personal victory, one that felt unimaginable in those first dark months after the accident. Through perseverance, grit, and Oliver's unwavering support, I had reclaimed my independence and the core of who I was before that fateful night. Yet, even with this hard-won triumph, I still felt a heaviness and unease within me. As grateful as I was to Oliver, and as much as I cared about him, I couldn't fully let go of the resentment over how my life had been upended. The joyous highs were always twinged with sadness over my shattered dreams and future with Lucas. Perhaps sensing my internal conflict, Oliver broached an inevitably difficult conversation one evening. Olivia, this may be too much to ask, but I have to know how you truly feel about me, he started uneasily. This connection between us, is it more than just friendship? Because my feelings have definitely grown so much deeper than that. I felt my throat tighten, unsure how to respond, because as much as I cared for Oliver, could I ever fully give my heart to the man responsible for my life's upheaval? Oliver, you know how much I appreciate everything you've done, I managed slowly, and you've become one of the most important people in my world. But part of me still struggles to let go of what happened, what I lost because of that night. He nodded solemnly. I understand, and I'll never stop regretting my role in that. But Olivia, we've been through hell together, and you helped me become a better man. You've given me a second chance at living with purpose. Hesitating, I admitted, you've helped me find my purpose and strength too. And yes, I do have romantic feelings for you, Oliver. The way you never gave up on me and showered me with more care than I ever expected. Oliver reached for my hand, his eyes sparkling. Then let me keep showing you that for the rest of our lives. Let's leave the past behind and move forward together. Despite my reservations, Oliver's warmth and vision for a future intrigued me. I knew rebuilding my life without Lucas would require courage and strength. But after everything, how could I not seize this unexpected chance at love and happiness again? So I chose a new path forward. With Oliver, we began dating, taking things slowly but allowing our bond to deepen further. For a while, I basked in our romantic bliss and Oliver's adoration, savoring this beautiful new chapter. In time, though, the same nagging voices crept back into my mind. I loved Oliver's caring soul, but could never fully release the anguish over my old life being snatched away. My anger and grief, no matter how irrationally misplaced, put cracks into the foundation of our relationship. "Why won't you open up and talk to me?" Oliver pleaded one night after another icy silent treatment from me. "Olivia, holding on to all this rage is poisoning what we're trying to build. I can't just flip a switch on my emotions, Oliver," I snapped. "You took away my future, my family, everything. I'm trying so hard, but some things can't be forgiven or forgotten." He recoiled, stung. "So that's it then. All my efforts, my love, it'll never be enough for you." Consumed by hurt and hate I could no longer contain, I shook my head despondently. "I can't keep doing this. You should go." Tears welled up in Oliver's eyes before he turned and walked out of my life, perhaps for good this time. And just like that, I had sabotaged yet another chance at happiness, all due to my inability to heal from tragedy. As the weeks passed, reality set in harsh and unforgiving. I had let my two great loves go, chosen to cling to resentment over rewriting my future. Now, I was truly alone again, no longer physically paralyzed, yet more emotionally trapped than ever before. How could I ever release this pit of anger and find peace, or risk spending my life bitter and isolated? The path forward seemed impossible to see. In the end, did Olivia make the right choices by pushing Oliver away, or was she justified in never being able to let go of her trauma and move forward? What does her struggle show us about human nature and our capacity to forgive? Share your thoughts on Olivia's powerful story in the comments below. If this exploration of love, loss, and emotional healing resonated with you, give this video a like and subscribe for more thought-provoking stories examining the depths of the human experience. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon.